morning. There are a lot of people on the call today. I'm happy to see. Today we have a special spotlight presentation by Josette Riep, Director of IT, and the topic is Introduction to the Research Directory. And Josette's going to show you the tools of the directory and how to edit your profile if you have one, and how to request one if you don't have one. Thank you, Josette.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Just out of curiosity, how many of you are familiar with the research directory? It actually has a very long history at the university, called professional, and then transitioned into research directory. And we're in the process of going through yet another transition. First thing I'm going to do is give you a little bit of background about the directory, what's available within it, and then I'll jump right into the tool so that we can show you how to do some of the new features. And then we're in the process of finishing a new admin interface for it. So I'd like to show you that and what it's going to look like, and hopefully get some feedback on whether it's more intuitive. Because if there's one thing that we've heard is that we need to ensure that we make it a lot more easy. So we heard that loud and clear. We're here to listen and receive feedback. Okay. All right. So Mei Chang is with me today from UC Libraries. We actually partner a fair amount on information and research directory and scholar, which you guys have probably heard about. And we're still waiting for that. Oh, you have not? Okay.
Yeah, we haven't had that presentation yet. Okay, we'll get you on schedule.
So you're in for a treat for that. We'll go over a little bit about that partnership and how we're leveraging control vocabulary and we're looking for. All right, so our goal from a few years ago is to figure out how we can really create tools that help the research enterprise. So if you think about the research life cycle, what pieces can we help to support and provide information or resources that empower the research community. And so if you look at the research life cycle diagram here, you see Scholar fitting in under analytics and digital processing and data management, and then the research directory falling under professional data management, collaboration, industry services, and campus facilities. So the goal with research directory is to create an integrated system of faculty managed research information across the research enterprise that can be leveraged by the individual researchers, our research administrators, by industry, leadership, and policy units. And one of the things that we found over the years is that every group has a different use case and a different reason to leverage the information in the directory. And so one of the challenges is that we have had over time is to create it in a way that's flexible enough to support those different needs. So most of you know it pretty much by the search, I would imagine. So there's a way to search the information. There are 10,000 plus experts in the system right now, and that's because it doesn't just include faculty at the university. It includes, admin faculty and partners, to help, as an example. It has automated views, data clusters, single source, multiple outputs, and so just to get a sense of what data is actually aggregated into the system, we have this diagram that kind of goes over many of the sources of information right now. So we have Catalyst, which is fairly new, our full information. POET, human subjects, intellectual property. ISF and AI, the animals. So caveat on the animal piece, we used to have that available to the search interface, and for obvious reasons, we've taken that down. But we still ingest the information in case you want to use it for private reporting. Enterprise, human resources, and finance. And you'll see how that's used here shortly. And you have pulling in all of the patent information for the U.S. patent database just to kind of shape all of that out. On the left-hand side, you'll see SCOPUS, which I think most of you are familiar with. And the reason that SCOPUS is so important to us is because it's one of the few external systems that has unique identifiers for people. The truth of the matter is, even in SCOPUS, there are some people who have more than one identifier, but there's a way for you to merge them. So SCOPUS, we found, has been a great resource. ORCID, as you know, is extremely important. PubMed has it's been there for a very long time. We still support that. And there's a way for you to search for your publications and say, yes, this is me, and have that information imported into the system. EBSCO, we have, worked on importing that through web services. Haven't found it to be, it hasn't really added any, additional information beyond what we're able to pull from the other sources. And then we still have rough works in the note, but to be quite honest, those are rarely used. And so, it's, at some point, we'll probably make the decision to just those two features. On the right-hand side, these are kind of fairly new. We're actually now pulling in information from K4 for UC Health folks. And Cactus, which is another UC Health data source, and something called a new provider form. So anytime a new person is added on the clinical side, we will have access to that data. And the reason that we're doing that is because in the very near future, they will be launching a new UC Health website. As a part of that, doc will now be driven by the research directory. Again, the goal being to have one source of information that drives, all of these different outputs, so you don't have, misinformation in different places.
No, just misinformation in one place.
That's right.
Sorry, I apologize.
Multiple opportunities to get information.
Well, if it's one place, we have to fix it.
Right. And that's really great, because even you see,
I wouldn't know
that,
that.
so there was no information coming from all before.
Yeah, and the goal is truthfully, is the more that we automate the information, hopefully we can get rid of a lot of that misinformation. So that's what our goal has been over the last 2 or 3 years, to be honest. So as we go through this, I'll be definitely looking for your feedback. Can't wait to have it. But these are the sources that we are currently pulling from. If you have other sources that you think would be beneficial that we haven't added yet, we'd love to hear that as well.
Does this include children's faculty?
So children's faculty are represented here. There are many children's faculty who have profiles, obviously, especially the ones in PEDS because they have faculty.
They don't have faculty appointments, so they're not automatic.
They're not added automatically if they don't have an appointment, but there is a way to add them. Okay. All right. So research directory is built to be kind of dynamic, meaning that we wanted to make sure we supported the ability to add different categories of information as needed, getting back to the point that every group has different needs, and we wanted to make sure we could accommodate. At the time that we took this screen capture of elements, we had over 80 categories of information and 700 unique data elements. That is now about 94 categories of information, over 900. Again, that's based on needs. So, for example, the most recent data elements that were added that we will show here soon is information for UC Health, so it's board certifications and how we're ingesting that information. Languages, because that's important for patients who are looking for health providers. Okay, so research directory is built on top of an integrated database that has property demographic information, a lot of institutional data, demographic data, and it's what we call sensitive data, which basically is our information that we've been importing from different places. Customizable info, and we do have facility services.
Yeah, and I noticed that TCN is there.
So as a summary, again, our goal is to have a single source that you can use to manage your profile, automate as much as possible, provide the ability to leverage reporting in different ways, and then also interface it with functions that are required by the institution, so your RPC process, your NRP, so that you're not having to re-add that information every place.
That's huge, because not only would that sort of push people to use the research directory and make that information available to everybody, but yeah, it's sometimes difficult to get that information from faculty.
So I'll skip this. This is just kind of the how it's structured technically at a high level. Features, CVs, profile data, grant submissions, and so for grant submissions, what we found is, we receive requests from, researchers across the university who are in the process of submitting for a grant, and they need to, add information about their profile, they need information from the research director, and they use their personal profile in order to add as a part of the grant submission process. Collaborative search, which we recently updated or rolled that into production. Core facilities was added some time ago, and to show that it also appears on the College of Medicine in a different way, right? But it's the same data.
The collaborator search, does that mean you're adding who they collaborate with?
So yes, we are adding that, but collaborative search, in this case, just means who, you're searching for a collaborator, you're searching for someone.
Oh, okay.
We actually requested that to be added, and I wasn't sure how you did that. So we heard, what's the plan, how is that, I'm gonna look.
So scope is, the good thing about interfacing with scope is that, the authors that you've worked with, that you collaborate with over however long, all of that information is available in that database. So one of our team members, George, who I think you guys have had the opportunity to meet, is in the process of ingesting that additional information available through the system. We already have the structure to support it. So the main thing that we're working on is how do we streamline it so that we can get it in a timely fashion. That makes sense.
So we'll be looking forward to that, the group is really interesting.
If I want to find a collaborator, which I've been I'm a new parent. I put in something like aging, and I get images.
So
Managing.
let me show you the new one. So the old search was using a backend functionality. Long story short is that it didn't, the results weren't as ideally wanted to be. But on the new search that we're going to demo today, you will see that we have using Solar in the backend, and we have added control vocabulary as well as the ability to do exact match searching. So you have a lot more flexibility.
Now, what's in the core facilities?
The core, is that like CSP stuff? Well, it's
like bioinformatics or, anybody that has a core where they, and most of the CCTSP cores function is for the children's industry as well. But it's, paper service.
I'll show that.
Pardon me, you guys. This is Stephanie, but we're having a hard time remotely to hear Josette. And Josette, I applaud you for all this work because this is a lot. I can see it, and I'm hearing some, but I know Jenny, I saw in the chat, is having a hard time hearing as well.
Okay.
So.
The microphone is like
on
on
that
that
here?
thing. There's some people might call in, but they haven't yet. All right, well, speak up if you guys will.
Okay. Okay, I apologize. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay.
I think the video will pick you up pretty well, but I don't know, maybe depend on their connection.
Okay, as far as features are concerned, just real quickly, we have institution-wide profiles. We have a grants management dashboard that's also, leveraging data in the research directory, annual reporting at multiple levels, annual review, reappointment, promotion, and tenure integration, trend analysis, collections, which we'll talk about here shortly. Research clusters is something that, we're hoping that people can use it for. And so doing that interdisciplinary research and the researching for collaborators that you can kind of pull, information together. And we look forward to getting feedback, on whether that would be useful or not.
Could we see it?
Yes. Promotion of facilities, multi-campus organization collaboration, which is kind of some of the clusters. And then reporting for accreditation purposes. We have different groups across the institution that already use it for that purpose. Neurology, I just work with it for submitting their accreditation. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to breeze through these just so you can kind of see some screens of how, we're trying to promote single source. So we know about the search. Here's Ella. His profile was in the research directory. This is actually a core facility. And so you'll notice at the top that you have the ability to search the facilities, you can also browse that information, information that will display basic description, contact information, a list of the services, a list of the equipment available in that facility, with the opportunity to request, those services. So that's what's currently there.
There's also a link to their website.
Yes, absolutely. Single source, just so you can see, so this is a completely different, college that's using the research directory to display their profile information. Because we're leveraging that same backend through APIs, it can look and be displayed in any way that you want.
I didn't know that.
College of Medicine, so it's a different example of how that Med has chosen to display the information. Okay. Research dashboard, quick summary information and pulling from that same, integrated database. And then grant dashboard. This is something that I don't know if any of you have had an opportunity to use yet, but we've been working with mail hosting in order to refine this. But again, it's pulling from that same source, the same integrated database, so single source, multi-use. And so the same information that's here, some of that will be leveraged, by the NCI project. Some of it is being leveraged by the T32 project, which is training grants and automating that process.
Who has access to the grant dashboard?
Administrators.
Good question. Good question.
Oh, okay. So right now, I believe it's restricted to business administrators within the College of Medicine, but we're in the process of making a few additional tweaks that will give us the ability to roll it out to so everyone will have access to it.
Their own,
Yeah.
By
Their own
grant.
information.
by grant, just in the grant.
Yes. Okay. Or did that answer?
Yes.
This is annual review. You guys are familiar with that system? No? Faculty have to do annual reviews on a yearly basis, right? And so as part of that process, you need to report on different areas. Research activities is one. And so within the system, you have the ability to import that data from research directly so that you can and it'll import it for the time period.
Well, we have that.
Yeah. The annual review system for the College of Medicine has been available, I would say, 3-4 years now. To be quite honest, now the integration with research directly has evolved.
Okay.
And this is in the process of getting rolled out live, so PGH is now using it, and we're in the process of working with nursing and all the other areas. Or if we get that one. Allied health, for sure.
Are we on that list?
Yeah, there's a house for you.
I apologize, I'm late.
We didn't do introduction.
No, that's
Oh,
not it.
okay.
I just, I might have asked a question, I'm gonna ask a question that if I were a faculty member. Does all of this page get automatically updated, or do we have to do it?
So much of the data in research directory now, much of the data is automatically populated. That's intentional. So when we first rolled out research directory, or years ago, about 9 years ago, it was all manual, and I cannot tell you how many awesome messages we received. So we've learned, and over time, our goal has always been to automate. There's some things you can't automate, but wherever possible, we try to.
Just having your ORCID ID available means that your publications will be up to date. Because as you may remember, when PubMed was doing it, you would have to verify that it was you every time there was an update. And faculty would just look at that and get out of it, just close the browser.
So when did this automatically update from, based on the ORCID?
So ORCID is the limit.
Right.
It's the limit, right? And so that actually is in our demo version, and it's going to go on through very soon. SOPIS has been there though for some period of time. And the thing about ORCID, is, like those of you who manage your ORCID profile, when you go to the manage ORCID, it asks you for your SOPIS ID first. And so you use your SOPIS ID to import your publication into ORCID. So from here, you can do it either way. You can do your ORCID ID, do your SOPIS ID as well. And our goal is to make sure that we support them as much.
So, it sounds like publications are pretty up to date because what about things like, I mean, is that something that's manually, everybody's manually update those, semi-regularly? Otherwise, it'll be under.
So, you know, publications are a subset of the CD, as are grants, and grants are, again, you have to kind of pull your over there. Yeah. Presentations, obviously, we can't do that, so that's something that you would have to manually update. They have a couple of ways to do that. You can just upload your CD and it'll be searchable. Or you can, you know, add your publications to the system. Okay. Areas, you know, they've chosen to really focus on a subset of information, you know, for updating, and then, you know, add their CV for everything. I'll show you some profiles that are like, if you look at Dr. Broderick's profile, it has a ton of information in it. So just by, you know, importing the grants and the publication, you know, and augmenting that with a professional summary, the research activity, you know, you have a pretty nice view. It's not going to be a formal CV document, but you still have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But
This is live. I thought you said there was an update that was.
yeah, we do have an update.
They're not even working yet.
Yeah, the Orchid ID, and then also the new search that I'm going to do. So that will, we're in the process of migrating to the server that we just set up, so it will be within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. And how do you upload, I have a big little fine button, how to upload my.
Yeah, so that gets back to the admin. The admin interface is like very, very everything else. So, I'll show you, you know, how you can find it now, but in the future, there will be, you know, just a, in the import section right up front, and upload after.
Do you know when the can help new website is scheduled to be launched? I know you said very near future, but.
Yes, I don't know exactly when they're gonna launch the site, and I think they're launching it. What I do know is our piece of that work is almost done. So what we're doing is we're creating, you know, ingesting information in research records, and then through, APIs, we're, pushing that data to them so that they have a combination of both the clinical and research data to, you know, present on their site, and it'll support their search and all that. So, I'm not exactly sure what their date is, but our date for finishing the piece to make sure they have what they need is, by the end of October. So we're very, really good. And speaking of UT Health, just to get a sense of what, the director looks for all of the, clinical professionals, we have specialties, highlight, areas of interest, summary of their background information, and that's gonna obviously be presented in a way that is, patient friendly, right? Board certification, languages, notation, department, health department. In addition to that, they want to highlight research, so that information is already there, you know, that's directly. But it'll, yeah. Okay, so profile and data management. So, really quick, you know, we already talked about our goal is to, you know, automate as much as possible, manage, and then have some level of control over that. Our goal is to have one place to go for multiple things. So if you're managing your profile or you're having to do your annual review, all of that should just be in one. All over the place. So in the future, this is what we're thinking. You know, annual review, these training grants, which, you know, that development is progress, effort reporting, which already exists. Grants dashboard. Okay. This is a screen capture from the live system right now. So we've already started migrating to that single report. You'll notice that the My Profile link is up here. That gets you know, right into research records in that single place. Your annual review, RPT, that review, this, if you have access. Oh, here's it. I don't know if it's mine. Okay, so as problem, is what you guys are used to saying, right? All right. So, you have the ability to import data, you know, it's missing from here in production and work it, so that will appear. In this section here is also where, upload your CV. Edit CV gets you to a whole host of other things. And then if you have access to manage one or more core facilities, you also. This is what we're thinking about for the new system, and I'll also pull it up, you know, through the browser, a little bit better. But the goal, and then you guys, I mean, please tell me if this is too busy, you know, we want to know that. But the goal is to have kind of three things to focus on: importing data, the ability to edit, you know, with less than 3 steps for each function, and then the ability to export or use that data. And so I'll pull it up largely. You can see it, but here, if you click on importing data, you'll see that we're focusing on school system market, up front, subnet, employees, for now, until we cash management system of the institution. And then, as I mentioned before, we still have EndNote on here that we make. And then we also, and this is actually in the current system, you also can import your information. It's just a very hidden feature, and so we're gonna make sure that we bring that to the forefront. For Scopus, let's just think about that. Instead of, as a researcher, I don't wanna have to come in every time and import my data. It should just do it once, you know, and so, step one, as long as we have your Orchid ID, your Scopus ID, you're good. You should have the ability to review your articles that are being imported. And then, if you just, as step 3, say, I want the schedule, it will automatically do it. So every night it'll go out and check. If you have any consultations, you just import it in. Okay?
It's funny that would actually.
I'm not that productive.
I was thinking once a month.
Yeah. Well,
There's a lot of people here.
yeah, but it does it every night because everyone works on it. So we have no idea.
They do it every day.
That's exactly right.
What if I search somebody, will they bring in their new publication? I'm searching for your research, and you haven't updated it recently. Because you haven't been in your profile. So when I open your profile,
So, maybe, and here's why I say that, is you'll notice that here, right, the import and schedule, we err on the side of saying faculty should be able to say whether or not they want the information automatically imported because of their profile. And unless they tell us that, I don't know that we should just be, you know what I mean?
Is that a really upfront, question?
if they really know that,
It'll be very obvious, yes, I want this to happen or not.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm hoping here, is just, you know, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and you're good.
Is there going to be, or could there be a way that, you were mentioning how when a new clinician is entered on multi-unit, kind of pull over, say if Harlan has, you know, her areas of interest, and then somebody enters that, put a notification, I saw there was an area for notification, hey, here's the 2 faculty member, and go, and she's also interested in it. Just kind of as a heads up, like, hey, you may want to reach out to this new faculty member and collaborate, and maybe, you know, from the get-go.
I like that.
Is that okay?
I have another question, and I'm not sure where it inserts this question, but, I know a lot of the data is, as you said, brought in automatically from different sources, but I also noticed that the people's locations, where their offices are, doesn't always get updated. Does the person have to update that themselves in the UC directory in order to get it to update here?
So we pull information from HR on the night. We also pull information from the, directory.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think there's an order of operations, right? So it's like, which one takes precedence? The HR data is the UC directory. Right now, I believe it's UC directory that does take precedence, when any changes there will be reflected.
So if you don't make that change, and say they tear your building down and make a new building, and you move into this building, and now it still says that you're in that building that doesn't exist
Well,
anymore.
the thing about UC directory, and I know this because I've, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. With that, however, with that title change, or even, it looks like something changed, can you check it?
Okay.
And so as long as, the process is there, and we just wanted to kind of build on a process that already existed. So as long as you do that, it should work. There are always going to be exceptions. Here and there, but in general,
Because according to Jack's profile, he's still in Waring. He probably got that email and just ignored it. I don't know, but at least that's
It is there. Yes, ma'am.
So Josette, I have a question. So if I wanna find potential collaborators and aging, we'll just use aging as that, and so I type in the expert keyword aging, and I'll get a list of all these faculty members who have hit with the keyword aging. What I'm trying to ask is, what type of order am I given the list? Is it like person one has the most hits of aging and person two? Is it like that? And are the hits based off brands? Are they based, you know what I'm saying? Are they based off publications? Is it the title? I'm just trying to figure out
The weighting?
the weighting, yes. The weighting would be one.
Mm-hmm.
How's it weighted? Yeah.
So one is indexing all of the information publicly available. One of the things about the directory as well is that you have the ability to show and hide information. For example, you may be conducting research that you not want to be publicly available. So you have the ability to hide things. Anything that's hidden, for whatever reason, will not be indexed. So anyway, once that information is indexed, it's basically weighted based on relevance. So the frequency of times that aging, as an example, is mentioned within, your profile, your collective profile. We can do certain things like, for example, weight publication prior, then we would weight, human subjects trials or what have you. And that is an example. The other thing through the search is that we have it separated so that you have, when you search by keyword, it searches everything, but then you put a tab. I'm just interested in searching the grant, or I'm just interested in searching the book.
So take that for example. So if I was only interested in searching the grant, then would I actually hit the grant button and then put aging in there?
You could, or you could just put aging in and then you could, like, it'll filter it by just grant.
Okay, that was the type of information I didn't know or would be useful.
Oh, yeah.
To understand. Okay.
And, that's one of those things, like, what we try to do is to model off of Google was, like, different boxes. We didn't want to add a lot of, code that would make it, less user friendly. But in this new version, we have added some features, some additional filtering that we can do, and then control vocabulary, which is so May and I actually presented to TCN a while ago on control vocabulary with the lady named Saloni. Who's no longer with the university, but was awesome. So why is control vocabulary important when we're thinking about research structure? Let's take either aging as an example or cancer as another example, right? When you're searching, for that word, it will pull back any hits on that particular word, but you may miss out on information because, there may be a different term that you can use for that word or related topic, or there may be subtopics that are, how you classify, right? So, our goal with control vocabulary was to be able to leverage, vocabulary such as mesh in order to give you the ability to do that search one time, but then pull back based on all of the related and subterms, and then you can do it. Right? Now, you're more likely to have hits on the information they have otherwise missed. That makes sense. Okay. So, it's really to kind of help organize the information and to provide enhanced searching, and expand, the result set. So we'll, show that, but just think about, like Find It Up, right? So if you're searching for a position, especially, neurological example, and I'm a patient and I search for one thing, if I'm leveraging, controllable tab, if the system is leveraging, there's a higher likelihood of finding that I need, because I might search for, other different terms. The research, right? That is just kind of back-end stuff. And then here's a screen capture of the search, and I'll actually do a search with my but you'll notice in this page, I searched for neuroscience, and on the side, it brought up all of the related or subterms for neuroscience, and so by default, searches for all of those. You can either type the filter, by a particular term you're interested in, or you can select as many as you like of the term. Okay? Cancer, for you guys. So if I search for cancer, and so we use, three control vocabularies right now: ERIC, MESH, and Library of Congress. I will admit that Library of Congress, I think, for this application is probably too general, and it doesn't really, get a lot of the data. However, ERIC and MESH are pretty. So in this case, using ERIC, you see all of the terms that come up when you're, searching for cancer, right? Okay, so recent updates. Like we did a new back-end search, direct-to-X integration. So direct-to-X search is a PCSA kind of umbrella search where you can search multiple institutions. And so you see it now, integrated into that search that umbrella site. It hits from all of the other PCS sites of within. Okay.
PTSA, for those who don't know that.
Yeah,
So we're one of, what, like,
Well, then can I ask a question with that? So I think I heard you, and I'd like to end. Did you say that we don't have children's stuff automated here?
Well,
Faculty.
any
Faculty.
because they have to use the appointment.
That's right.
Otherwise, they have to go in.
They go in and do it every month.
well, they have to request an account, and then once they do, it will be.
So all faculty do?
Oh, yeah. All faculty, all staff, and technically.
The other thing is, I'm in charge of WIMS, coordinating WIMS, and for short term, to help them learn how to update this.
Sure, we have twins.
Women in medicine and science, and we're like, collaborating through, because I work for, and everybody's invited. So, if you'd like to be on the listserv, in your name. Yeah, we'll send you an email from this.
Great.
So, yeah, problem. Thanks for that.
No, thank you. Updated algorithms, warning, so then we talked about all that. Control vocabulary search, ability to export results. So there's someone, research who doing a ton of searching, for collaborators, and it can be very cumbersome if you're searching.
Yeah.
The ability to export.
Yeah, that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the integration. Moving forward, what's next? Moving the new search sections. The new admin for the research directory, visualization. So actually working with library.
You've got on your list,
Yes, he's coming.
This is what the visualization to get a connection with research directory, and you get all your data that you search into a visual format.
For digital scholarship, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll be here on November 14th.
This one is ability to control order of categories and profiles. So, when you go into research directory, you search for something, you find a research profile. And some researchers want it in a certain order, and other researchers want it in a different order. And so, within categories, you can already control it. But the order of the categories is something that is not controllable right now, so we're adding a new feature so that you can. Training grants. I don't know how many of you are familiar with training grants, but everybody, okay. So training grants are very cumbersome.
I've heard it called a data hog.
Leveraging data and research directors. How can we automate a lot of that so that the data tables you have to create your similar to what needs to be done for NBI. Similar to that, now you have the ability to kind of generate those tables, right? So it's aggregating all that information, and so we've been working very closely with Brown. Continued expansion with annual review, and then we also so that's the end of that piece of it, and then
Alright, if I do go, add that stuff, I mean, what do you think? I wanna get rid of the full screen. And then go to the top corner.
yeah.
Yeah, I already had this at full screen, what I wanted for this to go full. Don't you wanna just make her browser? She is at full screen. Oh, I see. I don't think that's just a picture. How do you get it to the browser? Here you go. Yeah, what if you go to view? Oh, that's better.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Mother turner does that.
That's what you do. When I go to.
Is it system? It is?
Yeah, how
Okay.
I tell myself everything.
I just found someone who's been gone in this.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
Dr. Hutton's still in there too.
Yeah, I know people who are still in there as well from nursing, and I
Are they
don't.
Americans or are they?
It could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, they're not here, okay, I get it for collaboration, and I'm like, they're not here, so they're like collaboration.
But that's something that we can change. It's the decision is we should not show America.
Yeah, no, I
No,
just.
keep America.
Or about Jack's Meredith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Double dippers, you gotta remember.
Probably never stopping it,
No.
because I've ever read it.
Okay, so this is a test site for the directory. I just wanted to show you the functionality. We're gonna clean up some of the interfaces to make it professional looking, but the functionality is. So I searched for cancer, and you'll notice that it says that I have 2,758.
Is the new one, or is it
This is the new functionality.
new? Okay,
So,
so we don't have to buffer now.
Win.
Awesome.
I'm on it.
On this, and you see this? Yeah. See, mine, it doesn't show.
Mine doesn't
Mine
show
does.
it either.
Well, you don't see like the exact search and control. No, I get this.
Oh, no. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's been a week. That's what I get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the one that will be in production.
Oh, maybe, yeah, I mean, it's similar. I
Yeah,
have it
it's
the way
right.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, this is the new one. This is on the test site. And actually, I can send you guys this link so you can kind of experiment. I would actually love that because, you know, we really need some more testing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that you will be.
More than that.
Okay, so, I've searched for cancer, you'll notice the exact search is off, and I'm using Erica's control vocabulary, right? And so if you look on the left-hand side, all the terms associated with cancer are here. So if, for example, I'm truly just interested in, tuning, I can do that. And it takes me down to 35 results. I can narrow in exactly on what I'm doing.
Oh, they're gonna love it.
Right, and you can also add, well, I'm interested in looking at tumors. You just check that box and then you get additional. Right? Wow.
And can we offer suggestions for new filter?
Yes, absolutely. He's very
Psychosocial. Which is
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
too, I'll give you that.
Don't worry. You can also filter some of those, and you don't have to search, filter by any of those terms on the left. If there may be something else you want to filter, and you can do that. This option here. So I'm gonna unfilter.
But it has to be acceptable of profile. In other words, I do engaging, I did all my stuff before. So, would I have to set it up so that even though nothing in my CV says aging, I have to key that word to my CV?
No, so that's, we're using, the reason that we're using control vocabulary so that it can hopefully give us suggestions for aging. That's one I haven't actually searched for. So we'll see, let's check mesh, and let's check Eric and see what comes up. If nothing really comes up, then that's when we can augment the vocabulary. You guys give us terms, we'll add it, and then that way it'll give it back. I don't know. Okay. So, 2098, but look at what it's bringing up. So it has aging, adult development, aging.
Oh,
and older adults.
Good, okay. It's like Debbie Sansel, I don't even know if she's still here, is she in the room? I just wondered, Evelyn, she's emeritus.
The current business rule is that we're doing the American.
It's gonna come from research. But Josette, you said, it's now gonna be the catalyst. That's where it's coming from? Well, no, I'm just wondering if the UCHR system, if you're connecting with that so that folks who have left the institution, they will, and they're not emeritus, be pulled out.
Yeah.
Or if they're emeritus, it will say emeritus.
It usually says emeritus, whatever
Yeah,
their
title.
And yes,
I
we are
was
the
associated by
Right, so-
CON Innovation Chief, she's no longer the Chief Officer of Innovation, I do know that. Huh?
That's Amy.
And I know that, the women in medicine and science were saying they're top specialists.
The reason this may be wrong is that's actually,
It is.
so we probably just didn't get an update from UC Health to HR.
So
That's not a UC title.
Point. Yeah, no, Debbie, that is a UC title.
Health off health.
Or UC University.
Who, Debbie Sansel?
You said health is director of, what was the title again? Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Chief Officer of Innovation and
No,
Entrepreneurship.
that's UC, it's called nursing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was called a nursing
There's
title.
one similar in UC Health.
Okay.
So we wouldn't
Okay,
have
that's
that.
the second one, so awesome.
But you're saying she left the College of Nursing?
I think she has.
So how about we do this? I'll chat with Floyd Deborah afterwards and see if she's left, or how HR has her. left,
Yeah,
okay?
because there may be people in there that say,
Maybe she's
She could be, but our business rule is basically we check HR, we're inactive, however, Ameritide are, they're part of, right, they're still in the system.
Yeah, they have emails and everything.
And so, we can adjust those rules as we. So at any rate, so for aging, good news is I guess we have terms for that. The one thing that, we also have done, and I haven't even, I'm curious about that. Yeah. So mesh is not even nearly as many terms as military, which is a lot, right? Eric is, we found, just through additional terms. And if we decide as a group that that's something that
There's a button that if you want to add suggestions.
Feedback,
So it's like,
Send an email to her.
Right.
so it's very well. Exact, so what happens is, let me make sure I get this right. So if I turn, this is probably a good one, I need a moment. Let's turn it down. So, no, exact, for aging works, right? What happens here is it searches for aging, but then it also searches for these other terms, but it has to find them exactly as it equals.
So I'm gonna get images.
Right. It's not gonna get image, I'm gonna give you.
This is like.
Oh,
No, that's one, the one I'm using.
Yes,
Yes. Yes, so I'm just looking at it, so, that's my student.
Okay, so
she's
is this
learning
our,
a lot.
are terms created based off what people put in there as their publication? The more that, right, you can't research, you can't research. Will those terms be, is those are terms created automatically, or do we have to do this?
Now I have to give us, the reason that we throw vocabulary, is because it's a tree. And so there's already someone who's gone out and expended the energy to figure out, what the like terms are and what, and so we just want to benefit on the fly at the end of one term. We're searching that control vocabulary and pulling out all of the similar and shallow terms and searching for all of that at one time.
Okay, right, so then it's just a hot term in
Which one? TCN research. Is it here? It's not here?
No.
Okay, so,
Vocabulary to measure.
yeah, but it's not there. So that's one, just send us a note and we'll figure out, how to get it added in. This is what comes up. Isn't this interesting? This is within, the Library of Congress.
Wow.
So that's,
Yeah.
does that mean old?
It's, having dementia. How do you say it again? That's where senile comes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you guys are kind of somewhere. Last name, facilities, all of that. I did wanna, I don't know if you ever seen. We're adding a browse, I don't know how many people will leverage this, but one of the requests that we did receive is that, well, I just want to see, everyone in, with college. So you do have will have the ability to browse. And
This is strictly for this, not, we don't, we do this.
That's scholar.
Yeah, cause like some of the books, we don't have it.
Right.
oh, this
You can tell it's on Google, but not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Google
what we
Scholar.
You're asking if it's search.
Yeah, any of that, and it would it pull in stuff.
So, we aren't pulling anything. We're doing so, let me, add that. About the, that's a
Google Scholars included,
or maybe, I will add Google Scholar to the list of people that. I'm trying to remember, we worked on Google Scholar. Research Gate. Yes, Research Gate, I'm on. Okay. Research Gate, Google Scholar.
And there is a way to identify, see, there's only one other Rachel we know in the world, and then she's in Australia, she also published in I did.
Oh,
No, like graduated with my PhD, focused on palliative care and like bereavement and stuff.
and now diverged.
But I still get calls from Australia about my hand hygiene research, and I'll start answering, and I'll be like, they don't wanna talk to this Rachel, you know, and
They
the
wanna talk to
other
the other
Rachel,
one.
you know, and so I'm constantly getting credit for her publication, and she thinks that's mine, and so forth. So is there, there's a way that I can say, this is mine, and this is not mine.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
it's gonna be your friend.
You know? And she even kind of looks like me. Yeah. So actually, we did meet, yeah, we're at the APEC conference, and they announced that they had me on a poster, which was not, and I was like, this is wrong, and I kind of threw things there, like, that's something else, here that has your name, and I was like, really, and they're good.
I'm gonna have to get out the other things. I did wanna really quickly, I wanted to ask about, if you browse the facility, just the other, all facilities, I think, that you, come into it, you'll see all, facilities, and you can filter by your, no.
I was wondering if this would help with our facilities
Yes.
page, and it doesn't, I'm not so sure. For our grant, we have to put in facilities. Yeah, there are, but they're hard. It's part of the, and I
the
grant
facility.
So if you, the thing is, it is a facility, and if you have
for all.
that describes your facility, and here you see that it also is. But you can,
Well, I think what she's saying is she'd like to have like a little checkbox next to each facility that she can check and, I don't know if this is in my grant.
is that what you want? Oh.
The description?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had to write a page, a facilities page, it was like, I just moved into the new building, I have no clue what we have. So here's a picture.
Yeah.
So I found out that Debbie Stanfield works 6 hours a week at UC, but she's not, her title's wrong.
Director, yeah.
No, she's not.
Well, so the other thing that you can, so you add a title or make a title.
And then you don't change
You
it?
change it.
Okay, that definitely could happen.
Oh, I got some minutes for you.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
This facility is strictly center, or?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you add.
And I saw labs on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, can I?
Yeah.
Kettering.
I wonder if that would be in there too.
Would be medicine.
Yeah, the medicine and the environment.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
So, we can add that. So if you have your, what?
The building there, one was Kettering. No, yeah, but I'm just determined that's Kettering.
And then,
Yeah.
is the center you're talking about?
Well, that center within the.
She meant the whole building.
Yeah.
There's, and then there's a couple biostatistics centers that you see, there's a children's one, and then there's one in, I don't know how there's just two.
So they have different names.
Yeah.
Center for bio. So then there's other, is either Bay Kettering up there, oh no.
So, okay, I think I, right
So
now.
they put a
with this
picture of
done,
Kettering
they put
on there, so
Yeah.
for what facility itself, center, but not necessarily. But
Similar.
that's an interesting, so maybe we can have a way to navigate by those for all of us.
Yeah, because like, you know, we have people that, oh, yeah, I'm going to Kettering Lab, and they don't.
It's not a lab, it's a
Yeah,
building.
yeah, it's there, they're on, and then that's like, I'm looking for environmental health, and they'll, you know, it's, there's the year, or just depend on because.
Well, that's on the, like, visit us page, all the maps.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, I mean, we could integrate that. You see, you know, you see maps, you don't actually have the right building attached to the building.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, we went, this was great.
This was, yeah, I remember that.
You think you'll get to come back?
Yeah,
Definitely. Sure, it's Christine.
Thank you, everybody. How do I change my name?